Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So, little Losi update. We got our Cougar ready in the background there, so that's ready for the vintage shootout. Our B3 is ready. Didn't hear back from J Concepts, so we'll see what happens with the fan. If not, we're just going to run the fan as is. It's been refreshed since the last race, and actually hasn't ran since the last vintage race. So, be nice to get a bell crank, J Concepts. But anyway, and my wheels. But mounting up some slicks anyway. Got our Losi in, so got some white rims, and then got J Concepts rims. Had an extra set for our RC10, so B3 wheels, double X wheels. We have a set for the Cougar that's got like 2 runs on them, and then same thing for. I have a couple other pairs of RC10s wheels that have 2 or 4 runs on them. So not much, and we'll put those on the graphite. But we got the Losi finished, so we did order some bearings. So in the front, we're running 3/16 by 5/16 by 1/8, and you need 2 per side, and those go in the inner hub on there. But these also work in the transmission, so like the top shaft bearings are those sizes as well. So we're able to get the front spindles rotating smoothly, so those feel good. Like I said, pulled out the transmission, replaced the bearings on the top shaft because those are the sizes that those are. And then what we did in the back was we got 3/16 by 3/8 by 1/8 bearings. And all I did was I went on Amazon and I bought the typical TRB bearings. They're fine. We're not gonna need anything much more than that for our Losi. So those are, even though it's an 8, they are definitely way, much bigger than the front hub, the front spindles, which is kind of weird. They should just kept on the same size, but whatever. So the hubs, we got those in there. So again, 2 aside on that. Finish those out. Took apart the MIP CVDs and re-greased them and re-shimmed them out so we don't have any play. There's a little, but enough to just keep it free, but definitely not as bad as before. So we just did one shim on the outside here, and that was plenty to get those kind of nice and firm enough, but rotating freely. And then inside the transmission, like I said, we replaced all the bearings in there. And then the lower bearings are 1/2 by 3/4 by 5/32. So bigger bearing, but got those in there and only need 2 of those. But so we got plenty in case we're putting too much horsepower through there. And that worked out perfect. So spins nice and free, should quiet things down. And then they'll break in just fine after a run, and still nice and free. So did get our Losi updated there. I've been looking around for some things, some extra wheels, stuff like that, even spare parts. But we do have front and rear arms and a couple other spares in there. Obviously, a front bulkhead, top deck, front shock tower. It'd be nice. I'm going to try to find a rear shock tower. I can't find anyone that's making a carbon one that's available. So we'll see if I can find something like that. Would be great. Like I said, transmission is refreshed. Diff I refreshed before we raced it, and then I just took it back apart and replaced all the bearings because, like I said, just want to make sure this thing gets a fair shot, just like everything else. Plus, I was excited to get this out and run it, so got that together. And like I said, the MIP CVDs cleaned up awesome. They look brand new. There's no pin wear or anything like that. So I think these were put in and basically maybe ran a couple times before the front bulkhead broke, and then I think this car was just shelved for the time being because those definitely don't have much wear on them, and neither did the internals on the transmission. So that's all good news. So yeah, got this thing cleaned up, and like I said, mounting some tires up to some rims. I'm not happy I had to pay $50 for a set of double X rims, but is what it is. So need to be able to run these cars. So new rims, new wheels, every car's on a level playing field here at Every Vintage. We don't show anyone any favoritism here, whether you're Schumacher, Losi, Associated, whatever. So, the only thing I got left to do on this before next Saturday in the vintage race is I am going to fix the steering link, because that is where the slop is in the system, is in that link. So if I fix that, that should tighten up the steering. The JC Racing arms tightened everything else up, so there's no real play in the carriers, the arms themselves from the Spulitech bulkhead, and the hinge pin brace is in there as well. So yeah, this thing is ready to rock once we replace that, and should be good to go. But wanted to give a quick update on the Losi. So the Losi's finished, our Cougar's finished. Basically, I think all of our cars are finished. Now it's just preparing, gluing up some rims, some tires. I have battery packs for each car as well, 2 charging leads, so I should be able to charge 2 batteries at once and have cars prepped and ready for the next round, easy enough. And we should be in good shape for the vintage race on Saturday. So, man, this is gonna be a tough one. I don't know which car is gonna bring home the glory. They all are pretty prepped, pretty good, and like I said, they've all been gone through, and they all run the same motors, same speed controllers, same servo on there as well. So should be a good time next Saturday. Like I said, just going to kind of clean up, get some stuff organized, go through my spare parts bin, just make sure we have kind of everything we need just in case. So I think we have everything for the Cougar that we need. I know for the RC10s and B3, we have everything that we would need there. And then the Double X is probably the one that's a little light on some spare parts. But we got like I said, we got majority of them. The front end's got quite a bit. Would be nice to see if we can get some caster blocks, and perhaps some steering knuckles and rear hubs as well. But and a rear shock tower. But I've been looking for a carbon one to match our front Dragon Punch carbon shock tower. Haven't found one yet, but I'd like to upgrade that to a carbon, because we like tricking out our Losi. This is starting to become one of my favorite cars. But we'll see, because like I said, if we can't get much more, we may have to shelve this thing for a little bit until we can find something, because I'll get a little nervous running this if there's not spare parts available. And yeah, but anyway, wanted to give an update. Like, comment, subscribe down below, and we'll see you on the next one.